Alright guys, so we are back with our video and continuing our course. You may have seen the differences in the desktop because I have changed my laptop. The last one got broken, so we have a couple of changes over here. In this laptop I have Windows 10 plus the text editor got changed. Now I'm using Sublime because most of my students requested me to use Sublime instead of Notepad++, which was really a very basic IDE, integrated development environment, which I was using to make things simpler for you guys. But it's look like that most of you are okay with the Sublime. So let's go with Sublime. And since it is a Windows 10, so our XAMPP issue that I explained in our previous video regarding the port is also resolved, so you don't have to worry about that as well. Now this video is about the operators in our PHP, or you can say in most of the programming languages. So let's get started and see what are the operators available in general programming or specifically in PHP. So PHP operators. There are several PHP operators, or again programming language operators. First is the arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, increment and decrement operators, logical operators, and string operators. These are all the categories that operators lie in. So let's look into each of them one by one. So arithmetic operators are the simple one that start with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and the module. So basically you must be familiar with all the starting four: plus, minus, multiplication, division. But this percent sign is a new one for you. So basically what it does in programming language, it gives you the remainder of any division. So if you look at 6 divided by 2 above it is giving you 3. But in 6% 2 giving you 0, which means the remainder of this division, the result is 0. So 10% 6 is equals to 4. So the remainder is 4. So if you want to find any remainder from the division, then you have to use this symbol. The other one is exponential. So exponential one give you the exponent of the value. Pretty straightforward. Now let's dive into the different one, assignment operator. What assignment operators do, they assign values to the variables. Like here in our case is equals to means x will gonna be equal to y. X become y. So what exactly will gonna happen? Whatever will be in the y will go into the x directly. So that's the assignment operator. And then there is plus is equals to assignment operator, which means whatever inside the x will remain inside the x, and whatever inside the y will gonna add to the x. So basically what you see on the right side is x is equals to x plus y. This is what it represents. So whenever you wanna add the value of any variable into the different variable, but you want to keep whatever inside that variable already, so you will gonna go with plus is equals to. Now we have minus is equals to. It is again the opposite of plus is equals to. It will gonna minus whatever inside the x. So for instance, you have a value 4 minus 2 is equals to 2. So that's assignment operator. It is assigning the value inside the x. You see, it's different than arithmetic. Arithmetic is only to add, subtract. But here we are subtracting plus assigning the value to x. That's the difference. And then again the multiplication assignment, the division assignment, and again the remainder assignment, or a person you can call. These are pretty much same as the arithmetic one, but what we are doing here, we are assigning as well. So in arithmetic operator we were just seeing the result or displaying the result or getting a result, but here assignment operator store the result or store the value inside the assignment variable or whatever data storage available. Now comparison operators. Is equals to is to evaluate the condition. If x is equals to y, it's mean Are they both equal or not? If they are equal, this operator we're gonna use. If you wanna check whether the value of x and y are equal, you will gonna use the comparison operator is equals to. Identical. Now what's the difference here? Identical and equal is that, as we learned in our previous lecture about the data type, some data types might be different. So there is integer 0 and then there is string 0. What's the difference? If you will gonna go with is equals to the first comparison operator, it will gonna return the true value, even though the x will be integer 0 and y would be string 0. They are not identical, despite the fact their values are identical, but they are actually a different types. So to check what exactly they are, does they match the types as well, the value as well, then we have identical. You use triple is equals to sign to check if they are identical or not. The third one is not equal to. You have a condition where you want to check y is equals to yes. Okay, but you will gonna have a lot of conditions where you will gonna have to check does y not equal, but there will be a lot of conditions where you will gonna check does really x not equals to y. If that's the case, then you have to use not equal to. And not equal to have two symbols, exclamation mark and is equals to, which means not equals to, and also less than and greater than sign combined. These two means not equal. So there are a lot of scenarios where you have to use not equal to as well, just like equals to. And then again, same, not identical. Just as equal and identical, we have not equal and not identical. Now greater than. So you will gonna see a lot of conditions where you will have to compare values for greater and less than. Then we have greater than and less than here. We're gonna look into these operators in a very detailed manner later in the video, so don't worry about them. I'm just giving you the overviews of the operators exist in programming languages. And then there will be again greater than equals to. It's mean the previous two was like it will gonna check only if the value is greater or equal. But what if you wanna check a condition where you have greater equal? So what's the difference here is that you have a lot of conditions where you have to check for greater equals to. So for instance, you have a condition where you want to check if the value is greater equals to 10. So instead of writing two conditions, greater and equal, you're just gonna go with the simple one condition, greater equal. So it will gonna reduce the line of the code and the complexity of the code. So that's why we use greater equal, and again the same thing, less than equal. Now the incremental operators. These are supposed to use when you wanna add the value to a variable. For instance, we have a condition where we are every time user visit a page, we add one view to our database or a variable. So for that, every time a user visit the page, we append one value, whatever value, to our variable or database. So the way we add the value inside is plus plus or minus minus, like this. So plus means it will gonna add the value inside, minus means it will gonna subtract the value. So whatever value you will gonna give, on the left side you can see the symbols, and the right side you can see how they represent. So plus plus x is a pre-increment when you have variable and you want to add the value before representing the variable. So it will be plus plus means add one value, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then post increment is when present the variable and then add the value. So these are the two different possibilities available. When you will gonna be working on the real life applications, you will gonna see why they are there and what's the purpose. Maybe it will not gonna make any sense why you have to increment first and then present, and then a different one is first present and then increment. It will not gonna make sense right now, but when you will be working in the real life example, you will gonna see. And same goes with the minus decrement one. Here it will gonna simply decrease one value from the variable or whatever array or data storage you have. Now logical operators. in our previous lectures, we have seen that we will have to do the comparison. So for do the comparison, we have more logics as well. You have a scenario where you have to check multiple conditions. You will not gonna set if else over and over again. If it is a one scenario, you can append or add the logical operator to make the condition more strong and more authentic. So for instance, you want to check a user that is registered in your account or not, but you also want to check if he verified his email. So you will gonna use AND operator. So if first condition, if his email or username is registered, then you will gonna use double AND, which is AND operator, and then you will gonna check if the user have verified his email or phone number or not. So this, instead of writing two if else, you just got one if, and with the AND condition you are making sure that user should meet both of the conditions. If these two conditions will gonna true, then and only then user will be able to log in. Now there are some conditions where you only have to check at least one condition will be true. For instance, if your website have a login system and you are logging the user with both email and username, here you cannot use the AND operator because maybe a user only use email, or maybe the user only use the username. They will not gonna use both email and username. That will not be a case where we can use AND operator. So here OR operator comes. What OR operator do is check in the entire if any condition got true, it will gonna return true. It will gonna pass the user to the next process. So for instance, the OR condition work is like you have a user who either use email or a username to log in. So you cannot check AND operator. You can just simply add OR operator and see if his email or a username is matched. So if his email got matched from database and username does not match, the if condition with the OR operator will gonna let user log in. Or if user use the username but doesn't have an email, it will still gonna let the user log in with the if condition. But if user doesn't have an email, neither the username, then in this case the condition will not gonna get true, because remember, for OR you have at least one condition to be true, and then for the AND you have all the condition need to be true. Now we have XOR. In here we do not use XOR, and you hardly gonna see any condition where you use XOR, but it's my duty to actually explain you all the possible operators and conditions and all the fundamentals of programming here. So XOR is usually it used to check the condition that is at least one to be true but not both. So in our OR condition, like the previous one, if user have an email plus username, for instance a user registered both his email and username, so in our case OR condition will gonna return true if both are present, and if one of them are present, the OR condition will gonna return true. The only difference with XOR is that only it will gonna return true if one of them is available. If both are available, unlike OR, it will gonna return false. If it does not making sense, let me give you another example. You have two currencies, dollar and PKR. So your system works in a way that you can withdraw only one payment at a time with one currency. So the system will gonna check whether you have dollar or PKR. If you have both dollar and PKR, you have to at least convert your dollar into PKR or your PKR into dollar. Getting the condition? This is how the system works. Giving you the example. So if your user will gonna withdraw the payment and your system check if this user have dollar and PKR both, then he will not be able to withdraw unless and until he either convert USD into PKR, all his money, or vice versa. So in that case, XOR will gonna come in. Okay, the last one is not true, the exclamation mark. What exactly it do is it check whether the condition got true or not. In all of our last three we were checking condition is true, then pass. But what not true does, it check if condition is false. If condition is false, then pass. So it's totally the inverse. So in most of the cases, you are checking if user is logged in. Then show one page, show the dashboard, show the payment page. If user is logged in, what will be the inverse? If user is not logged in, right? You can check that for payment and dashboard if user is logged in, but you will not gonna show them login page for the user who are already logged in, right? That doesn't make sense. So on the login page, you will only gonna show login page to the user which are not logged in. So in that scenario, this not comes in play. It will gonna check if user are not logged in, then show it. So we will gonna use not, this exclamation mark as a not, to see if user is not logged in, and then only then show the login page. Now the string operators. There are only two types available: concatenation and concatenation assignment. Concatenation is only used to connect one string to another string. Concatenation assignment is used to connect two strings and then assign the value to one of the variable or storage data. Simple as that. That's it for this video. We're gonna see in the next video. Take care for now. Bye bye.